Hi, this is Angie,
and Alesha,
and we are BDB Cell Block C, and we are going to talk about the first 2 episodes of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series on Passion Flicks. Okay. What do you think?
Well, you know, I can't love Butch any more than I already do.
Just wait till he puts on leathers.
I don't even know. Wait, no. Just, no, one thing at a time. One thing at a time.
Okay.
So, we didn't get to talk about the first episode either,
Oh, yeah. No,
which was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I am happy for the warden. I'm happy for all of us who have been her fans.
Yes, forever.
You know, forever. Finally seeing it come to life. The truly only negative that I have, and this is actually after episode 2.
Okay.
So, of course, by the way, spoilers, if you have not seen it, don't listen.
Don't listen.
So,
we cuss, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I try to keep it to 2 Fs. I think that's the max. Anyway.
Yeah, but then you always say, well, I try to only say fuck twice, and that doesn't count. And it's like she says it 5 times, but that's okay. I digress. So, we talked about how we were so excited that they did listen to us about changing Wrath's hair and whatnot. So, it looks a lot better. It looks fantastic. But then watching episode 2, when he challenges Rage, when Rage talks about him getting some.
Yeah, finally getting the grind.
In my mind, and I know it's my mind, and it's hard to recreate, but...
That's an understatement.
Oh, well, Wrath has always, in my mind, been the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the world.
Right,
okay?
Yeah.
Of the BDB world. Because he's king, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the last pureblood. And I think of him as just so much wider, taller, bigger than everybody. And when he was next to Rage, and he puts him up against the wall, I was like, holy crap, he's taller. Rage is taller than the king. Wait a minute, I don't remember that.
Well, it always confused me because they talk about how big Wrath is in the books, but then they say Rage is the biggest brother. So
okay, and I had forgotten that.
But you know, again, the warden is checking off this.
Oh, yes. So this is
what's in her mind.
Yes, I get that.
So I'm happy to accept that, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, as soon as I saw them together, I was just like, hello, not quite sure about this.
I saw...
Prior to that, to seeing that scene, you saw them together, they weren't, and then the bad part was, for like the next 10 minutes, every time they were together, I'm focused on who's tall, I'm like, what the... But you're right, I have forgotten that they do say that Rage is...
I saw a small clip of an interview that I would love to find, and it's the actor sitting around, talking about it, and she asked them how did they feel about the warden get to see them as the characters for the first time. And of course Andrew's like, sorry guys, she loves me the best. But then Robert...
Well, of course, because Z is her favorite.
Right. But Robert was like, I really like the fact that she's there and I can actually go to the author and say, okay, what would Wrath do? What do I need to do to make this the right way? And so if she's there and he's asking questions, then this is what she sees in her mind. And I need to back the fuck off of whatever I thought was going to happen.
Exactly. And
there's my one.
So it was, that was one. I don't even count, but, or count them, I mean. So I did see this actually this morning. So while we're kind of talking, I'm going to try to find it. because I know what you're talking about. Is they were sitting.
There was a round table, yeah.
And they were all talking and just, oh my God. But I love, obviously, any of them that come up.
And I don't think that Sia's voice could get any deeper. It's to the point. I said to my husband last night when we were watching the episode, I said, thank God for closed captioned, because for me, his voice is so deep, it warps the words, and it's hard for me to understand. But, you know, hey, if that's the worst thing I got to say, I know. He's so...
Okay, so I am, of course, on my phone.
Sir, Mr. Vicious, Sia.
Okay, and like you said before,
you converted me to a vicious girl.
Okay,
Oh, that was nice. Okay. Hey, we're recording in here, so if you could not, you know, let's hit spacebar.
Okay, sorry for that interruption.
Yeah.
Did you hear me say it was Love on Demand and Passion? Okay, so Love on Demand is her. She's the one who did the interview. So we'll have to see.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's the boys, yeah. And of course, Andrew's saying he's the favorite and everything.
Right.
And he said she started crying instantly when she saw me. I had to go give her a hug.
Yeah.
Aww. And rage. I can't see him as his regular person. Like every time I see him I don't see him. I'm like, who is that? Every time.
Somebody said I don't like Rage's wig. That's not a wig.
No,
they dyed his hair blonde. That's all they had to do.
Well, and if you remember when they were talking about, they had to do it several different times because of the texture and the way his hair was, it went like he was almost a towhead, and they were like, yeah, that won't work. That looks like he belongs with the Lessers. And then they did it and it got too brassy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they dyed it like, I don't know, 4 times.
Good thing he still has hair.
I know. He must condition the crap out of that to make sure that it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I was like, okay, that's not a wig. Of all the people, his is not a wig.
Well, exactly.
Okay. So, well, I'm sorry. If you're new here, everybody's new here. This is the second episode.
Yes.
We get sidetracked. So, back to the first episode. I really enjoy that I can sit there and I know exactly what's going to be said. And it's said just as it is in the book.
Yes.
I know and that sounds stupid, but it's a comfort thing for me. I know what's coming.
When you have read them 20 plus times, you know the book.
Yeah.
And like we said on the last podcast, it's family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these fictional characters are our family.
Yeah.
We will defend anyone who says any different.
Oh, yeah.
We will beat the crap out of them, even though we do not condone violence.
We don't.
But, I mean, because this is family.
Right.
We can criticize all we want because it's family.
Gee, you come at one of my characters, I'm going to chop you in half.
Exactly. And so, yeah. So knowing what is going to be said and there's sometimes, like I caught myself last night, I was like, no, wait a minute, I'm going to have to go reread that because did she really say that way? Because I didn't remember that statement. I would have remembered that statement. And I was like, okay, now I'm going to have to go reread it to see, is that really, or is that one of those? Because the warden did say there are a few, you know, to make
not
the scene
everything,
flow.
right. Not everything can be the same.
Right. You cannot.
What I will say about I'm sorry, my cat is attacking me.
I was like, I saw he jump down.
Yeah, he's got my toes. The one thing that disappointed me, and this is me personally.
Okay.
I thought it would have been in last night's episode when he saw Butch kiss her. He's like, great, now I have a, raging case of, you know what I'm trying to say, jealousy and something else and yippee. And I really wanted him to say that out loud.
But he couldn't because he was in the shadow.
I know, but I kind of
taking the chance.
I just kind of wanted him to like whisper it to himself because that's one of my favorite lines.
Yes. Well, that, and then of course, even when the warden was talking with Tosca about, like, one of my very first favorite was nice suit.
Oh, but that hasn't come up yet.
Right. Okay, but she and Tosca talked about that in one of them. And I was just like, oh my God, that's my favorite, has been for a long time. Oh my God, if somebody said, what's your favorite book? Nice suit. Because the whole thing, Mr. O, cold, and, and now that's one thing I will tell you, the difference between the book. I know how he so does not want to be king, does not want
any
to
of
have
it.
Relationships. I mean, he is alone, has been for a long time, and to him, he thinks that's the way it should be.
Right.
It's the only way he's going to survive. So you know that as the reader, because there again, you get all of the description from the book.
Right.
That is the only thing that in retrospect, when I go back and watch it, you don't understand. When he says, oh, this wasn't supposed to happen. That sounds like you're saying to your best friend's daughter, oh, we weren't supposed to have this affair. I mean, no big deal. You don't understand.
I guess that's what it actually was. I was like, that's creepy. And then I was like, ooh, wait, no, that's actually what happened.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what I don't think new to the series will understand. Now, maybe it can come out, later.
Right.
But, like, we know how he really fought and was telling everybody. And that's part of the scene with Fritz when he gets kind of snarky with him.
Mm-hmm.
And, Fritz is like, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have spoken to you. Well, because we know he doesn't think he deserves anything.
Right.
That's his, inner conflict. And we know that as the reader, not as the watcher.
Yeah. But I think it's hard. It's hard to portray, but they're doing a good job.
Oh,
I don't want to.
I'm not criticizing.
No.
I already know the background.
Right.
So, when you see it with fresh eyes, I like I said, I don't want any of the new watchers to look at it and go, oh yeah, he's trying to be what, Mr. Chivalrous? No, you don't understand the torture this man is putting himself through.
Right.
He, not in a million years, and that is part of his angst with Rage too, not only Mr. Hollywood, but just because Rage is teasing him about getting some.
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's been hundreds of years,
Yep.
So that whole thing, so it's like...
And you're already irritated with yourself because you weren't supposed to feel this. It was just supposed to be a blood transfusion, and then I'm going to explain what happens and send you off to somebody and find you a nice guy, to be your Halloran. And instead, he's like, she's mine. Oh, hell. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And then,
what do I do?
right, now what do I do? And, Rage teasing him. And I liked it when he put himself between her and Rage and like, she doesn't do stars or Hollywood stars or something like that. And I was like, yep. Oh, and the belt loop comment. When you can use your large intestine as a belt loop, you've reached the pros. I was like, I love that line.
Now, I would have been a lot more squeamish if I were her. There would have been no way. I would have probably puked in the living room watching that. So I'm glad it was a flash.
It doesn't bother me.
Oh.
Blood doesn't... Oh, no, I'm not talking about the cat chewing on my foot. I'm talking...
Because that's what that face was.
Yes.
Okay.
My face right now is, oh, crap. The cat is chewing on my foot. But I not squeamish about blood, so it didn't bother me. But yeah.
Yeah, but it was short-lived, so I was good. By the way, I've had only one criticism on our podcast so far, and that is that everybody wishes that we would do the video and audio, not just audio.
Well, we're newbies, and we want to do that, and that means I'm gonna have to get my son off his butt and show me how to do this, or I'm gonna have to research this. And I work 7 on, 7 off, so I don't have a lot of time to research it, but I'm gonna try. Can't be any harder than what I've been doing. So yeah, I will research that and figure out how to do it.
So there you go.
And then I'm actually going to have to do my hair. Y'all are asking a lot.
No, you could just wear a baseball cap. Put your socks cap on.
Okay, I'll put my socks cap on.
See, therefore, you're in. You notice every time.
Yes, you're always wearing your BDB shirts on.
Yes, so.
Okay, back to the show.
Again, yeah, switch lanes, go back. Okay. So we were talking about first episode. Absolutely loved the way they handled everything. And for those of you who don't follow the Warden or Tosca, even Olivia was talking about it, that the end of the first episode was actually shot after they did almost the entire book.
Really?
Because Tosca's fantastic. She wanted them to get to know each other, have to spend the time together before they had to do the intimate scene.
Oh.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Somebody who you're not in a relationship with.
Right.
He's married, so to make, obviously, his wife feel comfortable, too.
Right.
You know, so, yeah. So that was, I thought, really interesting that they talked about that. That they went through, they filmed, and then that was one of the very last scenes that they even filmed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. My husband was like, I didn't think they were going to show that. And I was like, well, this is an app. It's not Netflix.
Well, Netflix could if they wanted. But
well, they could. But I was like, this is not network TV, sweetheart.
Yeah, it's like Skinamax.
Right. Thank you, Tosca, by the way. And thank you, Robert. You have a very nice ass.
No doubt. I'm sure all of them do, as we will hopefully see.
True.
Oh gosh, I can't get over Butcher. He sounds absolutely perfect.
And I think his Boston accent has gotten better from the first. Not that it was bad, but even from the first episode, I think his accent has gotten better.
Yes, you hear more of the Boston accent.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for.
I know.
Soon.
I know.
Things to come.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward.
I know, so yeah, we have to.
I mean, and the thing is, when it ended last night, my husband was like, well, what now? And I was like, I said, there's 4 episodes left. And I was like, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. I said, you have to have where Butch meets the gang for the first time. And then you have to have, where that Beth actually goes through the transition, which will probably be in the same episode. And then you've got when she,
Required. All right.
Smack. Okay. So what was I saying?
About Mike said, that's where they were going to stop.
Oh, yeah. That's, he's like, well, how much more left is there? And I was like, well, you've got Butch meeting them, the transition.
You've got more than half a book.
Yeah. I'm like, duh, the whole book, Beth has to be taken. And then, Wrath has to go find her. And then the whole part where, he's in the hospital and they don't know if he's going to make it. And there's just so much left. And
Yeah, and I'm sitting here going, really? And you're going to get this in 4 hours?
It's not good. Yeah, I know. I know.
So, yeah, so part of me is going, okay, so what are they not going to put in? What am I going to miss? Like, okay, nope, I'm not going to look at it that way. I'm just going to go ahead, go with it. And that's what I did. Like last night, even. I was like, okay, I'm going to just sit here and watch it as a newbie. I'm not going to criticize. I'm going to act like this is the very first time that I've even heard of these people.
I can't do that. But
you've also read them 20 times. I've only read them twice.
I know.
So I don't know everything by heart yet.
I do like, this is going to show my, but
I think that's called nerdability.
Yes, my nerdability. In my mind, when they moved the portrait of the king, it didn't occur to me. I just thought it was, the frame pulled away and you had to like step over the boundary. It didn't occur to me like the whole floor would come with it, the wall. Yeah, I was like, oh, duh, Angie. And then...
Okay, so this tells you something I never even thought about.
Yeah.
I never even thought about it. They're like, they, behind the portrait of the king. I'm not even thinking. Like, no clue. So when they show it, the first time when he goes down, to feed Marissa, and I was just like, damn, that's kind of cool. And then I'm thinking, I don't remember this. I mean, in my head, I know they kept saying behind the portrait of the king.
Right.
But I never thought about how it was placed on the wall, where it was.
In my mind, it was the downstairs chambers was bigger because right now you've only seen Wrath's room, but Darius has a room. And I really expected her to go to Darius's room last night.
Instinct.
Yeah. Okay, if I'm going to accept this, Wrath is going to show her, would you like to see your dad's chambers? And I know that it comes because I've seen some of the previews where she sees the picture of her mother, and so I know it's coming, but I expected it to be last night. But that's just me projecting.
Right. And again, oh my God, what about all of the, whatever you want to call it, the filmscape is all I can say. The way they do the dagger and then into the, and
the special effects.
All of the visual special effects. You see the Black Dagger Brotherhood, and then you see the dagger go into it, and props to, and I think that's the one that Tusk was talking about. I think Maggie, is her name, but anyway, props to her because it's phenomenal. I mean, honest to God, top grade, wonderful.
Yeah, I was really worried about how they were going to do special effects, and they have exceeded my expectations. Oh, yeah. They've done a phenomenal job. Yes. And I love the materialization and dematerialize. It's just like, boom, they're gone. And I don't know if in my mind, it's like they kind of like turn into ashes, and like spirit away.
More like Star Trek, where the transporter thing and then they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
No. This is much better. It's better than what I saw in my mind.
Because the way they talk about how all of a sudden they're there and then they're gone. Even like with Beth, her freaking out because it's like all of a sudden he's,
Right. All of a sudden he's in front of her.
Door. What? Okay. And Olivia did great as far as the acting. Like when he was not, when he had the door locked and, told her she couldn't go or whatever, and she's like, and she's trying the door, and then all of a sudden
it just pops open.
The lights all come on, and then it pops open. It's like, holy friggin' shit. Yeah. I personally, I would have been running. I would never have gone down the dark chamber, though. I don't care if you're standing in the door saying, I will not hurt you, and I don't care how good the sex was the night before. Ain't no way.
Well, I will tell you from my perspective, as someone who searched for their father for years. That breadcrumb was enough to make me go down those stairs. The thought of finding out who he was, what he looked like, just anything about him. Hell yeah, I'd have been down those stairs in a second. And that's what I can say from my point of view. So, for the viewers out there who are going, what the hell? If you don't,
No, not going down there.
Right. As someone I am adopted, and I've always wanted to know who my real parents were. And, even though she knew about her mom, knew her name,
Right,
but she's never got to see pictures of her. And she had no idea who her father was, because as mine was, the birth certificate said unknown. Yeah. So to have that breadcrumb, I would have been absolutely down those stairs. She went too slow for me. I was like, get down there quicker.
Dematerialize downstairs now.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, and so that's cool because it's a different point of view. Because I'm sitting there. No.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that would have half-assed made me feel good was Fritz, because especially the way he introduced himself to her.
Yeah.
And it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, spoiler, but doesn't Darius say that he had Fritz follow her everywhere? She was growing up?
No, it's implied in the book, because there's pictures of her all over his room.
Right, and he's got the scrapbook.
He's got pictures of her everywhere, and she's like, it had, she did know. He did know her.
Oh, yeah.
And I think maybe Wrath explains it that since Fritz can go out in the sunlight, he was the one, but Darius kept tabs on her.
Yes.
And it was really cool that what I remember from the book is that she looks at it and she sees a picture of her, and she has her face up like to the sun, and there's snowflakes, and she was like, oh my God, this just happened. And that was really cool. I'm waiting for that.
Oh yeah, that realization.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did care. He was with you, even though he couldn't be with you.
The other detail that better be in there is there's a glass of water by Darius's side of the bed that has like an inch of water left in it, his reading glasses, and a book.
What was the book?
The book was something about finances.
Okay.
But yeah, I have not read these books 1,000 times.
No, just 100.
Mm-hmm. 100 bazillion times.
But yeah. But of course, the warden's right there on set, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
Whatever the Rice Krispies told her, that's what she's going to see, and that's what's...
Yeah.
And again, the outside of the mansion, I go back to, I love when Tosca was talking about how the warden saw one, vision, and she saw the other, and it's like...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it looked... This is going to sound really weird. It looked more modern. I know it's an old colonial, but my point is, to me, it looked like, somebody just went and revamped it today.
Well, actually, there's, in the book, when she's looking up the address and she's seeing it's part of the Historical Society, and, she's reading about it, that the owner is Fritz Perlmutter, and he won't let them inside the house to see what it looks like, but it had been restored to they did work on the house, and that it met the Historical Society's expectations of what that should look like.
Right. Yes, because if it's on the registry, it has to.
Right.
So, yes, but again, I was like, I'm looking at this going, well, this looks like a 2025 remodel. And it's like, stop stop it. Stop it. You don't do that.
Just remember, everything old is new again.
That's right. And it's not that I was disappointed. I just thought it looked very new and clean. And I don't know what I thought.
Well, do you think Fritz would let it look old and dumpy?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so I don't know what I was expecting. But, like the lights that went up the columns and everything. And I was just like, I would have never, that was not in my mind. No. That's something that they do now. That's not something they would have done 20 years ago. No. But yeah, I don't know.
I hate to tell you, but the Fritz bought it in 1978, so that was not 20 years ago. That was 40.
No, I mean when she's writing, it was 20 years ago.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
2005 was the era, and it's like, okay, so how did everybody decorate outside in 2005?
You are correct.
So
I am so wrong.
I was going.
I got you now.
No, they definitely revamped it from what it was in 1978. I have seen houses around here that were revamped in the 1970s, and no. But yeah, no, but I loved it. I loved that they had the outside, and they did the scene outside, them coming in, and I just absolutely love it. I just absolutely love, and you can tell how much time and effort and thought they have put into this, and we as longtime readers are just grateful.
Oh yeah.
See it come, and I'm sitting there this morning when I was on Insta following through, and I was following Alex or one of them, and I was looking at it, and I was like, what are you going to look like in 11 years? We got to keep you looking good here, because you got 11 years of this.
Hey, Buffy and Angel went for quite a few years, and they still looked good.
He still looks good.
I know.
Anyway, and was it Butch? Who did the warden? Remember one of the shows or Q&As? She said, when they were talking about would it ever come to screen, and she said David Boreanaz is who she would have as, and I thought she said
Butch. Yeah. David Boreanaz was her mind. Butch.
The perfect Butch.
Yeah.
Not that Michael Rourke's not great. Don't get me
wrong. No, I think he's...
I love him. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yep. And, that's the other thing. He meets Marissa in this book.
Yes.
So he's got to break the lawn furniture on the second floor.
Well, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Uh-huh.
There's so much. Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for him and V to bond. And that thing where, she's going through the transition, so the hormones are, everywhere, and they all end up naked in some bed, and he's like, all right, this is really not what I thought was going to happen when I met a bunch of vampires. But I'm still above the ground.
Oh, their whole being in the pit and everything. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yes.
And he delivered the Sia delivered the line very well. 2 guards tortured will fight each other. I thought that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
But Jesus Christ. His voice is in the cellar.
Huh?
What?
Yeah, that's why you gotta have the closed caption on there. But, yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Oh, no.
No.
And I have never been attracted to Vicious.
Never. Vicious has always been my least favorite character. Now I get it.
Oh, dear God, have mercy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I can just sit here and watch you guys all.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah. By the way, gonna have to put them all on DVD when this is done.
Oh.
So I can continue to watch them.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Not that I'll ever get rid of my subscription. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I need them
physically to be mine.
In my close proximity that I can hold. Oh my gosh. Alesha. Yeah, so on Etsy, who is my favorite? The Brass Box. Oh, heavens, I was going to give her a shout out. She's the one that we get most of our BDB stuff from. The t-shirts and...
I thought we did Laren Designs.
No, that's the one that does...
Yeah, she's BDB Addicts Anonymous.
Right, but off Etsy.
I know I bought some stuff from her before.
Oh, yeah. My Caldwell.
Yeah.
Is from her.
Yeah.
When you got me for my birthday. But I'm waiting for her to now have the pictures. Because, the property, BDB property at Butch.
Yeah.
Now I want his face.
His face there? Yeah.
His face there now. Just, a little hint in case she's listening.
In case anybody is, thinking about making t-shirts. But now that the Warden is going to have her own merch, I don't know, how is that going to change things?
I don't know, because because you're right, it'll probably be copyrighted. So Passion Flicks and the Warden will have all that.
I was always surprised before
that we didn't.
That we didn't have merch, and that she was allowing other people to use, what definitely was copyrighted, the book covers and things like that, because she was a lawyer.
Right. She's very, well, just like when we asked her to say hi, that we were doing the podcast, and she's like, "Now, I am no way endorsing."
Right.
It's like, no, we're just saying that, we were here at the Q&A, we want you to say hi. Okay.
Yeah.
So all the legal mumbo jumbo, and that's like, all this stuff, the material, the blankets, everything. It's like, really? You don't have that copyrighted? You're going to allow other people to... I'm a little confused here, but that's okay.
I'm okay. I'm all right with that. I'm appreciative that she allowed it, because I have so much stuff.
Mm-hmm. Purses, backpacks, bags.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some even signed by the Warden.
That's right.
Love it. Okay, so what else... what else we want to... Okay. What was your favorite scene from the show from episode 1? I keep saying season 1. Episode 1.
Oh, the sex scene. Yeah, absolutely. At the end. Yeah, that was my favorite scene.
I mean, that was wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to think if I really had...
You know what, though? I don't know. There's so many scenes I like. I'll be honest, even though I've read the books a bazillion times, it did not occur to me until I saw it on screen why Wrath asked for red smoke. Because he blows the smoke in her face, and he says, "This is just going to calm you. It's not going to control you."
Right.
Because it was disastrous the first night. So he's, let's try this again. And of course he actually says that. Yeah. And then he blows the red smoke in her face. That was the first time it clicked in my brain, because I was thinking, Wrath doesn't smoke. Why is he asking for red smokes? I don't understand. I've never understood that. And it just clicked in my brain when I saw on the screen that that's what she was trying to tell us.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally got that.
No, I didn't. That never clicked in my head the 20 some odd times I read that fucking book.
Because one of my first worries, so to speak, was exactly what they talked about at Passion Flicks. That they were worried they didn't want it to look like she was doing this against her will or anything.
Right.
So, all the vampire stories, that you hear and whatnot.
We take control over your mind,
yes,
and
we can put you in a trance and make you not do or do whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so of course that was my first, like when he's like blowing this red smoke. Of course it says, and like this, it says that it tells you what it is in the book. Right. He had to actually tell her so that the readers knew that
what it was.
But yeah, that was like my first thought was when they even talk about him staring at her, and I was like, so is he, because you gotta remember, this is the first book, right? And I was a good girl and started at the beginning, so I don't know what kind of vampire I knew you had already told me they were their own species. They weren't Twilight. They weren't Count Dracula.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't know what was and what wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So when first I was like, oh my God, he's going to put her in a trance. What's going to happen? You know.
Right.
And then when they go through and explain, no, the red smoke is just calm. And I was like, okay.
And you know, they call it red smoke because they can't really call it the green smoke. And, but I don't smoke, but I do like gummy candies. And so I get it totally, how your mind is just relaxed and you're like, okay, this is great. And it does really calm you down. Yeah. I think maybe I need to have some today.
Yes, definitely before the wedding.
Yeah.
And right. And the thing is, it's not mind altering. It's more stress
relief. Yeah. It's stress relief.
It's emotional kind of.
Yeah.
Like how to get you, just like.
It just takes all the knots out of my back.
Yeah.
You know.
Just like how many times, you know, if you've ever been to counselor or anybody, you know, they tell you, okay, here are your tools for dealing with stress, anxiety, whatever. This is just a quick tool.
Right.
It's boom.
That's right.
Little whiff of red smoke and you're gone.
Mm-hmm. Everything is gone. Everything is lovely.
Oh, yeah. Boy, was it, too.
It was lovely. Woo. I do have to say, again, we're going back to the sex scene. It was.
No, really? We're going to go back to the
We're
sex
going back to that?
shocked.
No. What? I think I commented to you that there was, well, maybe I said it to my husband. It was one of the first actual, realistic, true-to-life sex scenes that I've seen. Because she actually put her legs in the air.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this underneath the covers, her knees are bent. That doesn't work. What the hell are you talking about?
How many of you have actually had sex that way?
Well, you didn't.
Not the way it works.
It's not the way it works.
But because they can't. But you're right. And
the whole, how do I say this nicely? Starting at the bottom, going to the top.
Yes.
That
foreplay.
was very
The
foreplay. Yes, that was so realistic.
Yes.
And you don't see that usually in movies.
No.
They just move right to the wham bam, thank you ma'am.
Well, because most movies are geared towards men.
Right.
Are geared towards women.
Absolutely. But it was, I wondered how they were going to do it tastefully. And they did.
No pun intended.
Oh, no pun intended. But they did it tastefully, but it was still sensuous.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought it was a really, yes, I said it was my favorite scene, but it's not necessarily because it's them having sex. It's because of, I wanted to see how they were going to portray the realistic sex. And you know, was it just going to be 5 seconds and, you know, we're on to the next thing? No,
they went through, again, because Tosca, who is an avid reader.
Yeah.
And all of her staff are avid readers, even the males.
Yeah.
So it's what she would want. She wouldn't want 5 seconds.
No. And it deserved so much more.
Yes, because of what it truly meant, and that is truly, even though neither one of them really realized it at the time, that's the start of their intimate relationship. And I don't mean just because of sex.
Right, no. It was when he really, totally, completely bonded with her. Mm-hmm. And they haven't talked about bonding yet, but they'll get to it. But that was, like, when he gave into it and really decided, yes, this is what we're going to do. And it was very, very tastefully done. And, excuse me. I forgot to put my phone on silent.
Spam! Your best friend Spam's calling.
Yeah, my best friend Spam from the 70s is calling.
No, then it'd be canned.
It'd be canned Spam. Hey, they still have canned Spam.
Yes.
I know.
It would be canned.
Can?
As in, you kick the can.
Oh, yeah,
Quit, cut off. From the 70s, it's canned.
Yes.
No longer.
Okay.
They have a whole new...
They have a whole new way of packaging it. Yes. I don't know. I don't eat the shit.
Oh, Dad does. I have to buy it for him every week.
Oh, my God. Anyway, getting back to a different type of eating. It was very...
we're done with that. We're on to the sex. On to the intercourse. My bad.
It was very well done.
And I have to go back to, obviously, I watched the Passion Flix podcast way too much. But
I've got
Tosta
to do that.
says repeatedly, they're really not having sex.
Right,
it's
right.
Just that the and they have a choreographer.
Yeah.
Is just so good.
The intimacy choreographer.
And
how do you get that job?
Well, I got to tell you, I would not want it.
I wouldn't either.
I'm not a voyeur. Some people are, and that's fine. I'm not. So the thought of having to stand back and go, yeah, no, okay, you got to move a little bit more of this. Yeah, no. If it's not natural, forget it.
No.
Nope. Don't want that job. But that is an interesting question. How does one get that job? You just say, oh, okay, I'm willing to do this. And somebody's like, okay, let's try this out for the first time. And you do a good job. And it's like, okay, let's go to the next one.
Sure. I mean, that's not something... When I was in high school, and they said, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Yeah.
I had no idea that was a career choice, because I definitely would have picked that over pharmacy.
Well, yeah.
It would have been easier.
Yeah, you probably made the same amount of money. What was it? Back in the 70s, and they had all the porn stars. It was a Fluffer?
Yes, Fluffer.
Okay, again, that would not be one on my resume.
No, I don't.
When we were in school, that was not one. We thought we could go at the theater department and get Fluffer or intimacy coordinator.
Right.
Little did we know.
Well, we were sheltered Catholic girls.
Yeah, but I don't even think Juilliard had anything.
No, probably not. So again, I am stuck on the sex scene. So I am so looking forward to the scene where they have to chain Rage to the bed.
Oh.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Well, okay, on that note, all of them, every time, when Layla, in the future, when any of them,
ooh, you know what?
oh, how much fun is that gonna be?
Vicious and Jane in the bathroom.
Ooh,
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. See, so, yes. The way her Rice Krispies think, I mean, it's just wonderful.
I don't like Rice Krispies, but I would eat hers. That sounded dirty.
Well, I was going to say something, but...
But, I meant I like her Rice Krispies. That sounds dirty, too?
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's not a euphemism.
I don't care.
Something else. No. Yes, she calls them her Rice Krispies.
Her Rice Krispies, because she listens to them. That's fine with me. Hey,
Yeah. Whatever. Because she says all the time, I'm blonde, I'm not smart enough to come up with this. Yeah.
No, shut up. You're a genius.
It's, remember Limitless?
Yes.
The pill you take and it uses the other side of your brain.
Oh.
Obviously, her Rice Krispies live in her limitless side of her brain. If she thinks she's not smart enough to do it, then that's fine. But her limitless side is what's coming up with all this.
Absolutely.
And, oh, dear God.
What kind of supplements does she take? I mean, woman.
Okay, here's my first... Okay, I have two problems.
Just two?
That I cannot be her. So I obviously won't live the way she does. Number one, she does not eat bacon.
What?
No, she does not eat bacon. She does not.
Okay.
And no,
sorry. Deal breaker for me.
Because as the little joke says in all the magazines, if I could find pig seeds and plant them, I would.
Yep.
Bacon seeds.
Bacon,
I would.
yes.
I, at one sitting, could eat a pound of bacon and not feel guilty.
Oh, yeah, no, not a problem.
She doesn't do bacon.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if she's ever said, like, all pork or just bacon.
Okay.
And the other thing is she's...
So then why do they crave bacon and chocolate when they go through their transition?
I am assuming, because she has never really... Oh, that's our perfect Q&A question.
Yes.
For New York.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my!
We have to remember this.
Okay? Yes. Okay.
If you don't eat bacon, why did the Rice Krispies tell you that they crave bacon and chocolate?
Yeah.
Because I am so there. There would be slaughtered pigs all over the place once a year, man.
Oh my gosh.
Not a problem. I need at least 50 pigs.
Yeah.
Not a problem. And it only lasts 24 hours, right? Isn't that what it is?
24 to 48 hours, just depending.
Somewhere in there. Okay, so 2 days. 2 days I need 50 pigs. 2 days I need 50 pigs. And I don't even want to know how much of Switzerland I would need to own for my chocolate.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah. But, okay, that's our Q&A question for New York. Okay, this is cool. And so then
just to... I don't know if this is going to help or hinder your chocolate craving, but the Nestle factory is just down the road about 20 minutes from us.
Yes, but they don't make good dark chocolate.
No, they don't. Anyway, I was just trying to be helpful.
Nestle makes the very best chocolate. You never saw that, did you? It was an alligator.
Nope.
It was an alligator.
Okay.
And it was Nestle, and then the alligator's mouth would go chocolate. See, this is why we need to be visual.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So bacon, and then she's an avid runner, and I have god awful knees. My entire family.
Me too.
Well, it's a family trait. Both sides.
Spoiler: I'm adopted. We're related. That will come out later.
Well, actually, when we edit, because that's one of the things.
Yeah, I'm
going to say this on the air, but we're going to talk about this off the air. Also, I want to go back and edit some of the others, and we're going to replay in addition to some of these.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I want to
put them in there, yeah. I do too.
So I have really bad knees, so I would not be able. I can walk till the cows come home. I can walk. I don't know how many of those stupid Fitbit badges I get. I can get those till the cows come home, but I cannot run too much pressure on the knee.
I can't either.
Those two things, and then the only other thing that I enjoy every once in a while, not on the regular, but every once in a while, is the alcohol. She also does not consume alcohol.
Yeah, and she doesn't take Xanax, clonazepam. She doesn't do any of that. Well, she did to get on the plane, but she usually doesn't.
Right.
She's one of those people that, it just lick the lid and she's fine. She doesn't even need to take the whole pill. Yeah.
Gotcha. But yeah. So, she's a size 4 and yeah, and it's like, gee, must be nice, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah, no, can't.
I can't run. I can't live without bacon. Sorry.
So, no. Otherwise, I'm in awe of her
because I know.
We have similar taste in jewelry. She loves all that good gaudy old shit.
Yeah.
State jewelry. Oh God, I love it. And the necklaces.
I know.
And
okay, I have to say.
Yes.
I think I said this last podcast, but for those of you who don't know, I dressed up as the warden at
the 24
for the 24 Cincinnati Q&A. And
which was the release of The Beloved.
Yeah, which was Beloved. And if any of you have ever gotten a Wantable subscription, or if you did Stitch Fix off Netflix, oh my God, Facebook, where, they'd send you a box every month. They sent, you got a free gift if you bought so many pieces, and it was this statement necklace, and I was like, okay, I guess I gotta buy the whole box because I'm getting this necklace because it's perfect for me being the warden. Yeah, so I am guilty of buying an entire box of clothes that I didn't really like all of them, but I needed that necklace. and it was free, and I wouldn't have to go look for anything.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And it was perfect. Oh my gosh. The absolute best. And okay, so if you are a first time follower, you need to go to the Warden's YouTube channel because they videotaped. They also did Lassiter the year before, 23, and we're all over that too. But in the Beloved, they did a 2-part also, and there is actually a scene that they have of somebody in a pink blazer. Do you have the pink or the black?
Which wasn't when I went to pee?
When we first came down. No.
When we first came down, it was pink. I had the pink blazer on from Lassiter.
And everybody down there thinks the Warden's coming. And here's this dinosaur behind her. And then all of a sudden, the people that knew who I was realized that Angie was not the Warden. But yes,
I waved though.
Oh yeah, she
coming down the
like,
escalator.
Hey,
hello, hi.
Yes. So, and you can see she's coming down the escalator. It is hysterical. But yes, that was perfect. And then, by the way, you got mentioned at the, I think it was
a Polycon.
Was it a Polycon?
Yeah, when she was doing the panel.
And yeah,
I'm the lady that got up to pee.
And yes, when she said she called a lady out for getting up to go to the bathroom, that was me. Because she's like, okay, hope everything comes out okay.
She's like, on there. What she said was, wait, I'm leaving.
That's what
Where are we going?
Where are we going? To the bathroom. Hope everything comes out okay.
Yep. And then when I came out, she's like, how'd we do? And I was like, 2 thumbs up.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah, she is. She's a really cool lady.
Oh, and I love the total hands-on on this. And I think that's part of the reason we absolutely love it.
And that the job is done so well. Now, I will say this. I mean, Tosca does a great job on other things.
Yes.
I actually watched Lick.
I haven't finished it. And I'm halfway through season 1 of Driven.
I have watched Lick like 10 times, waiting for the BDB to drop. And I actually ended up getting the books. There's 4 books. And I just went ahead and read the whole series. So now I'm waiting for the next one. And I'm really looking forward to it because she did a really good job with, that book being made into a movie. It's not as detailed as the BDB, but she did an excellent job. And so that kind of relaxed me when I was like, okay. Whew.
When you're waiting to see what.
Right.
And again, back to the Warden being on set.
Mm-hmm.
And she has stated several times when they asked her about why now? Why did she pick Passion Flicks? And she said, Tosca's willing to give me all approval.
Right.
Nobody else would do that.
Right.
She got to approve every single character and
the scripts
and everything. And she's been down, as many times as she can. She goes down and watch, the recording, taping. Sorry. So, and I think that's it. A lot of the other ones, the authors are probably just so ecstatic, don't necessarily, I don't want to say aren't as passionate about their reading or their writing. I don't want to make it sound like that, but these are her children as well, besides her daughter. Right. These are her children. Mm-hmm. These are her family too.
Right.
So she didn't want somebody fucking it up. She wanted it to be what she, as a reader, because she says all the time, all she is a secretary.
Yeah.
So she wanted it to be what she wanted to see on screen too.
Right.
Not just, okay, have fun. Not to punk on Julia Quinn.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to go there.
But that's, we love, of course, full disclosure, that was probably the very first series that you got me completely hooked on. And
that's my job. I'm your drug dealer.
Yes,
I'm
dealer.
your I got you hooked on Julia Quinn, and then we went to Cheryl and Kenyon.
Oh, yes.
And we had to go through the torture of Acheron and all his, and then I was like, wait, there's more, and I slid Dark Lover to her. Yep.
So, but with her, though, I love the way Bridgerton has. Number one, I love that it has become popular.
Yeah, I'm glad it's popular. I'm glad it's really working out for Julia.
With it being age.
Yeah. It's older than the BDB.
Victorian era.
Yeah.
Being arid, I guess.
Well, and it was written before.
Yes.
Long before BDB.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she wrote these in the late
90s. Early 2000s.
Okay, I thought it was late 80s, early 90s.
No, it was late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay. So, even at that, but the time, the era that they take place, I did not think a lot of the
I didn't think it would be as popular.
Right, because we loved that whole Victorian era.
Right.
For different reasons. But, and then I did not even know, this is how out of it I am, I did not even know they had put it on Netflix. I did not have Netflix.
Oh.
I would occasionally borrow someone's, but I did not because I didn't watch enough. Okay, I now do have my own subscription, but I did not. And I remember going over to my sister-in-law's house and talking with my nieces, and they were like, "Oh, when's the next one come on?" And because they're same thing, they were releasing them weekly,
right?
And it was like, "Oh, it's whatever, Thursday night or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, you guys are hooked on." Yeah, what are you watching? It's like, and they mispronounced it. However, I'm trying to think how you would mispronounce it. Is it Bridgerton? Maybe they called it Bridgerton.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
What'd you call it? And she says, "Oh, it's a new series on Netflix." And I said, "The Bridgertons?" And she's like, "I guess." And we were talking, and then she told me because it was ready to have the third episode.
Ah, okay.
Is that right? Third episode? Because they had just... No, because they didn't have sex till they were married. So
no, they didn't. They had sex the night before.
No, on the stairway.
Oh, no. I'm thinking of Kate and I'm thinking of Anthony.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so...
Yeah, they didn't have... Daphne didn't have sex till they were married.
So, they were already married because they had sex on the stairway. And of course, the only reason I remember this is because I remember, and I will not say her name, but the middle of the first set of nieces was saying, "Oh my God, it was awful because Mom's half blind, so when it would be quiet,
oh shit,
we were having to tell her what was going on."
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I believe at the time she was 18 or 19. She might have even been 17, to be quite honest. I think she was out of high school, so I think she was 18. But I remember her telling me, and of course, what flashes in my head is I've read the entire series, so I know all about the sex.
Right.
And I'm like, "You did what?"
You had to explain, huh?
Yeah. And they were, even though it was a little embarrassing for them a little bit, but they loved it. And I was like, "Oh my God, I own all those books." And they were like, "No way." I'm like, "Yeah."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, So it was really cool for me as having adult nieces to be able to connect with them.
Right.
Even though it was different. Because I'm like, wait a minute, that's not
how it went. And that's why I'm so glad the Warden went with Passion Flicks.
Yeah. But kudos to
Shonda Rhimes?
Shonda Rhimes. I loved 2 of her TV series before anyway.
All props to her, and Julia is a grown woman, and she can do whatever she wants with the rights to her books.
And she let Shonda go, and Shonda did a wonderful job.
Yeah, but the Warden didn't want that.
Right. It's not that I didn't like it. It was great, and I absolutely loved the Queen Diaries.
Oh, yeah. Queen Charlotte.
Yeah, Queen Charlotte series.
Yeah. But I was, like most of the fans, we were worried that the BDB was going to get bastardized. Mm-hmm. And we just didn't want that. It was so wonderful.
Even though we do love our bastards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about those last time. We didn't want someone to take it and completely flip it on its head or ass over tea kettle, like the warden says. Right. And
try to make it a Twilight or
something like that, to try to make it mass produced to be consumed by an audience that had not been
in love with the family.
In love with the family, years. Right. And, she could have gone to Netflix or Hulu or whatever, and she probably would have made more money doing it. Not that she needs more money, but that's my opinion. I wish I was as rich as you. I love you, Warden. But she waited.
That's his, too.
You're right. But she waited for the right person at the right time. And I'm eternally grateful for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because this is more than I could have hoped for.
Oh, exactly. I mean, total kudos to Passion Flicks and utter awe of Tosca Musk. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love her to pieces. Mm-hmm. The fact that she did such an awesome job. She took care of our babies.
Right. And, I don't watch as much of the podcasts as you do. But, when she was talking about...
I can have the podcast on at work. I can't have Passion Flicks on at work.
Oh, no, I can't have Passion Flicks on at work either. I wouldn't get anything done. Everybody would get their medication wrong.
No, I would have a group.
Oh, you would have a group. No,
yeah, because you gotta remember, well, you haven't been in the new job.
No.
I got a window that goes out to the plane.
Oh, shoot.
So I would have viewing. Yeah. There for the viewing pleasure for everyone.
Yeah. No, that would be bad. Yeah, every one of the senior citizens would be getting Viagra if I was watching Passion Flicks at work.
That might not be such a bad thing. Just make sure one girl Viagra, one boy Viagra.
Oh, yeah. But
yeah, you're right. So I listened to way too many.
Yeah.
Thank God my boss is fine with listening to podcasts.
I don't listen to the podcasts at work because I can't concentrate. Yeah. Then I'm all like excited and, wanting to hear the next thing, and I'm not getting anything done.
Which is why I don't listen until Wednesdays.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. I have to listen to. Okay.
You have to listen to your own Rice Krispies. I'm sorry, your Sugar Smacks.
Right, my Sugar Smacks. Oh my God. Warden, you need to change it from Rice Krispies to Krippies.
That's a little creepy.
Just to God, now I forgot what it was. Sugar Smacks. Yeah.
At least I didn't say honeycombs.
Oh, I like Sugar Smacks better. Yeah.
It's a 2-word thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I have to listen to. Right now, I'm listening to the full audio of the Alec Murdaugh murders. I am listening.
You are a junkie when it comes to all that anyway.
I know. I am listening to the full trial. And, that's what I do. It keeps me engaged, but I can, still zone out still when I need to. But if I was listening to the Passion Flicks podcasts about the BDB, no. My blood pressure would be up, but I wouldn't be able to concentrate. And, that would be bad.
And I love it because I do have it on video, but I got my earbud in. It's sitting in the corner under my computer, so if they start talking, I can always whip my head over and rewind.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mostly listen to it to the audio anyway.
You know what else I'm listening to?
Oh God, help me! What?
I am listening to a book by an FBI behavioral analysis person who tells you how to read body language.
Yes.
It's fascinating.
Is he the one that brought about the I-70
Yeah.
killer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that's who it was when you said who. I was like, oh, I've already listened to some of his stuff, not...
Yeah, it's really fascinating. But that's the mundane stuff that I listen to.
That's not mundane. You're talking about murders.
Yeah, but kidnapping. It's comforting to me.
That scares me sometimes. Anyway. And you
spam calls again.
Still did not put it on vibrate.
I still did not put it on vibrate. You think I would have learned the first time, no.
Hey, you did the second time. We're good. We're getting ready to wrap up.
No. Oh no, I gotta tell you guys. If you know what everybody knows what it's like to get a call about your car's warranty expiring.
Yes.
I was at work and my phone started ringing. And it didn't say spam or, whatever. It said Rolls Royce. And I answered the phone and went, oh my God. The only reason I think that Rolls Royce could be possibly calling me is because I won a car. Oh, I'm so excited. Click.
And, okay, so also to give a little background information, we actually have a Rolls Royce, we have two Rolls Royce plants here in Indy. So if I saw that, because of course that's where the X still works, so I would have seen that and would have automatically hit red anyway, because I wouldn't have cared who was calling me from there.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to put this up. Maybe I'll load it on TikTok or Facebook. But I actually got a spam call from Jose de la Cruz.
You put it on one of them.
I know, but I'm gonna put it up again because I actually did a screenshot while the phone was ringing. I was like, oh my God, the warden is calling. Yeah. That was pretty exciting.
How appropriate right now, since he calls Beth.
I know.
To let her know tips. So maybe he was letting you know.
He was going to tell me.
Yeah.
In his Boston accent.
Which, not real Boston-y on the show. Jose is not.
Jose is not from Boston.
No, but he's been living there for how many years?
Jose lives in Caldwell.
Okay. Because I thought he worked with... Yeah, because she calls the precinct and he comes out after Butch.
Right. But why do you think Jose would have...
Because we're in Caldwell, we're not in Boston. Forget it.
Okay.
I'm totally spacing.
She made the synapses connect. She's with me.
Yeah.
And, okay, here's my one criticism.
Mm-hmm.
I expected Jose to be older. I always saw him as like a father figure to Butch.
Interesting, because I thought he'd be younger.
No, just because of, the way he was always concerned about him, looking after him.
Right.
And so in my mind, he was maybe 10, 15 years older than Butch and kind of...
Okay, so in my mind... Butch is already 5 to 10 years older than Beth. I don't think of him as 24, 25. I think of him as 35, 40-ish.
Well, yeah, because when we read the Insider's Guide, he was like born in 68 or something like that. Right. So that's our age.
Right. So I always had him older anyway.
Right.
So that's why I figured Jose was like 4 or 5 years older than him, but he got married right out of college to his college sweetheart. They had kids. They're a good Catholic family too.
Right.
So his connection with Butch to me was always like a little brother. Jose's the older brother, but Butch was always
I can see a brother. It always seemed to me that Jose was trying to take care of Butch. So whether it's father figure or an older brother, that's how I saw him.
Right.
So I was really surprised when they picked someone who looked so young to me. And that's my only criticism.
Yeah, which is funny because I think he looked too old. I'm like, he should have been a little younger.
No, well, okay. See, that's how and again, the warden approved the.
That's right. It's whatever she had in her mind.
Right. She approved the casting, so that's what Jose looks like.
Well, and that's funny. That's who she picked because that's her. That's what he looked like in her mind. And you had him older, and I had him younger. So it's like, okay then.
Oh, something else that I didn't expect, and I don't know why, but I didn't expect Fritz, like when he bowed, like to walk out of the room still being bowed, still. I just thought he bowed, and then he like would bounce, turn around, like a 12-year-old girl who just said she got tickets to Taylor Swift, and she just turns around and like and
off.
Right. Yeah, that's what I expected.
Yeah, but he's like, I don't know, 400 years old or something.
Yeah. My phone needs to be really chucked in the river at this point.
No. I still gotta get a hold of everybody. But yeah, so
why? The only people I talk to are my husband and you.
I know, we're right there. And your son. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just, and I of course was totally enamored. When he of course, says what he says in the old language to Beth. Yeah, I was just like, ugh.
And what got me was, though, I don't know. I expected Ralph to translate.
Yes.
But then again.
Okay, so same thing. I'm like, he says all this, and then, they just stand there. And I'm like, I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to explain what.
I mean, you want her to trust you.
Right.
And here again, I'm going to have to go back into the book because I just don't feel like that happened the way it happened on the screen in the book. I feel like...
Now, they did the point where she held her hand out to shake, and Fritz looks at Raph for permission.
Says it's okay, yes.
And that happened.
Yes. You've read it 1,000 times.
Right, but in my recollection, I don't think he spoke it in the old language. I just think he was like, I'm so happy to meet you, mistress, and something to that effect. But again, that's me and my recollection, and that's not what the warden saw. So, she signed off on it.
Exactly, and it could be that is what we saw is what she saw, but
in our mind's eye.
Right, and it didn't make the scene flow, so it's not what Tosca saw.
Right.
And there's going to be a couple of those.
I mean, they can't make it
no
exactly every time.
No.
And I'm not going to criticize them for that. Just pointing out things that, for me, what I saw in my mind's eye was different than what came out on the screen, and I like that. I like seeing what the warden actually saw.
Right.
So it's bringing these characters to life, and it's making it new again for me.
Which is why I originally was going to start reading Dark Lover before the release.
Uh-huh.
And I got through, the first couple chapters, and I thought, no, because I don't want to be critical. I have in my mind what I think things should be. I don't want to be any more critical than I already have.
It's been
after 26 books,
right? I read Dark Lover again right after.
Well, right after they announced, didn't you?
No, because I do my reread after the last book. So I started Dark Lover in April 24. And so it's been over a year since I've read it. I probably would have been able to get through the series and start again, but, life got in the way. But I can't say enough about how excited I am about it, how it's bringing it to life for me.
Oh, exactly.
And I as much pleasure as I have gotten in the series over the years, I'm still just as excited to see these episodes come out. It's like, oh my God, a new book. Even though it's just an hour-long, interpretation.
October, they're going to start filming.
I know.
I'm like, okay.
I'm so excited.
Here for it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't change the Q&A from September to October. Oh, wait, that's right. It would be in the middle of filming. We wouldn't want to do that.
No, we wouldn't want to do that.
But yes, because we wouldn't want to put that off any longer.
No.
But yeah, it's just, just so excited. So excited that all my family are coming to life.
Yes. And they have exceeded my expectations.
Oh, definitely. Like I said,
I'm so excited to see John Matthew.
I'm trying. Okay, so again,
and Bella.
I'm not wanting to get critical. So whoever
I'll accept whoever she picks.
And I have to tell you, this is the funniest thing. Because you talk about when you're reading, you get in your head from the for whatever reason, I have never really had a solid picture of John Matthew.
I have a very solid picture of John Matthew in my head. I cannot tell you what his face looks like, but like other than the blue eyes.
Right.
But the short hair, and this is after his transition. His,
right.
The fact he's so big, and he's one of my favorite characters anyway.
Oh, well, from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he comes in the second book, so he's been there.
That whole relationship. And then,
I just thought of something. What are they going to do at the end of this book? Are they going to show him? Are they going to show Darius talking to the scribe virgin? Because at the end of Dark Lover, the epilogue,
he makes the deal with her.
Darius makes the deal with the scribe virgin. I'm trying not to make this a spoiler for you guys if you haven't read it, but he makes a deal, and she said, you owe me a token of fealty. And he said, fine. And she said, you're not even going to ask what it is? He's like, nope. Doesn't matter.
That's why, yeah. Well, and that's what she said at several Q&As. She's like, no, he will not ever. Because...
Well, and then when you read Darius, the only people who really know are Hex, and Beth kind of figures it out. But other than that, it's his mate who figures it out.
And that's part of that, because she, like some of us, because, I told you that when I read it. I knew.
Oh, yeah.
I knew before I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I know what this
We
is.
waited so long for her to acknowledge it. We kept asking and asking and asking, and she would not confirm it. And when she finally did, it was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Oh.
Just like it was the same kind of response, although we were just on the Yahoo boards rather than, in a convention, when she finally said why Vicious was mad at her.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yes, we knew it, yes. Yeah, that's the kind of reaction the fandom had when she confirmed John Matthew.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to him, and then, he'll start the training series, which means we get to meet Quinn and Blay. Oh. I'm so excited for that.
I am as excited for the offshoots as I am the main.
God, I hope they do them. I really hope they do them.
Will.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but
because that's an offshoot.
I mean, it maybe they could weave it into the story.
Yeah, add it here and there.
As a side thing.
Yeah, because
But there's so much in each of these books that, it's probably not possible. But, a girl can dream.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what about Beth? Do you have a picture of Beth in your mind? No. Not Beth. Bella.
Yes, but I don't think that they can find who I have in my head. Although I thought that about Butch.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was always David Boreanaz. Always. So I knew I was going to have a hard time if they put it on film. Mm-hmm. I really thought I would not like the Butch. Because I thought there's nobody can fill his. And on a side note, I have to tell you, the first time I saw Torment, whoever plays the actor that plays Torment, Joel, I thought Joel was Butch.
Oh, did you?
Because physically, to me, mm-hmm. that was as close to who I had in mind.
Oh, when I saw him, I was like, that's Tor. Absolutely, that's Tor. He so looks like Papa Bear. He so looks like the calm one. Yes. The one who can wrangle everybody. The one who is rational and makes the rational decisions and will call you out without being a jerk. He just looked perfect to me as Torment.
Well, and again, never had anything for Torment until now.
Yeah, I tried to ignore Torment for a while.
Yeah, but Joel does such an awesome job.
He does an awesome job. Yeah, so, yeah. I was never interested in Tor. I was very mad at Tor. And it just took me 20 fucking years to get over my anger with Tor. But now I can empathize, and I owe the character an apology. Well, just like I owe Fury an apology.
Oh, now see, remember, because we talked about that on one of the previous podcasts, so we won't go into detail.
Right.
About how when you reread it in open eye, new eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? How could you not? And I was like, and it's like, and then the actor that plays him, Fury, as well, I'm just like, oh my God.
I know.
These guys. I'm like,
they're beautiful. I didn't think, I know there's beautiful men out there.
Oh.
But I was so worried because these are the warriors. They were bred with the chosen to be the biggest, the strongest, the best, and they're supposed to be a hunk of burning love. And I was like, exactly. You're not going to be able to do this for me. I was wrong.
Oh, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. And Havers is even cute. Mr. X is when he's not.
When Mr. he's not X. Mr. X, he's a good looking guy.
Oh my God, he's good looking.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is not fair.
Yeah.
In my mind, I have an ugly man.
Yeah.
This is who I want. He's a bad guy. I don't want him. Yeah, and then you put him on the screen and it's like, okay.
And he does the creep factor so
well. Oh my God,
well.
that mouth.
Yes.
And
when he grins.
Oh my God. And I just have to tell you, I would not have I would not have let him take me home after practice.
Oh hell no, I would never have gotten in the car with him.
Pick up Billy Riddle. Fuck no, get me out of the car now.
That poor
There's
kid.
a total creep vibe to him from day one. Are you a dumbass kid? Did you not fucking pick up on the creep vibe? No, you should have been gone.
Yeah.
You should have been gone.
Yeah, that's definitely a stranger danger.
Huge neon stranger danger sign.
Yeah.
Laser neon
stranger danger sign. But, again, that's a testament to the actor.
Oh, yeah.
To how well he portrays that character. Because, I'll be honest, I was one of the people that would, after I've read it the first time, I would skip. For years, I skipped the lesser parts because I was like, I don't give a shit. I hate these people. But then I realized I was missing things, You know, I really needed to read every word to fully get the story. And so I had started reading the lesser parts again. And, yeah, he's spot on.
Oh.
When, you know, they talk about, I don't know if the warden, I know the warden said it because, you know, she wrote the books, but I think it was Butch who described him as like having this Pepsodent smile.
Yes.
And that he does.
Yes. Like I'm sitting here last night on the show going, is that fake? Did they put fake teeth in there? He's got caps on there.
I know.
Because his mouth does not look right from when you see him in the interviews. It does not look the same.
Right.
To me. So I'm like looking, trying to figure out.
But he does. Yeah. He does. I don't even want to say a Joker smile because that's not it.
No, it is.
It is very much Pennywise.
Yes.
Where the smile doesn't match the eyes, and it instantly gives me that creep factor. Yeah. That this is not right. I should not be with this person, and we're not going to be in a room alone together. Hell no. Never. Yeah. The disconnect between the smile and the eyes is evil and done perfectly, sir. I don't know what your name is. I apologize. But
I'm
you
have to get a cheat sheet for next time.
Yes, we need to do that. We also need to sit down and talk about an agenda so we don't lose our shit and go off rails like we do.
Yeah, we'll have to start doing that.
Yeah.
But this was kind of, these last two were kind of quick. Hurry up. We want to start doing this. We have 18 months plus worth of podcasts that we need to edit anyway.
Yeah, we had been recording and then...
we recorded, then we changed our agenda.
Right.
Then, and
we changed our format and how we were going to do books. And then... life got in the way, and we fell off from recording for about a year. No, because the last one we did was the Saratoga, the New York event. So it is. It's been almost a year, right at a year that we had stopped recording, and now that life is better. More on an even keel. Settled a little, yeah. Then this gives me something to concentrate on. It gives me something to look forward to, and it gives me something to do. It gives me focus.
Some focus and attention.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, we're at an hour 30.
So yeah, after we do some edit, it'll be just under an hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh, God. I can't tell you how long it took me to edit the first one, and it's still fucked up. I'm sorry, that's my third.
No, it sounded fantastic. I told you, I've listened to it twice.
Oh, I didn't know you'd listened to it twice.
When I sent you the text and everything, I told you it was fine.
Oh.
I had just finished listening to it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
Like, as soon as that was one of my podcasts I had on at work.
Oh, well, thank you. You're one of our listeners.
So I think there won't be, the only thing really we need to go in and edit is the couple times we had to pause.
Yeah.
Make that flow, and you should be
good to go.
We should have, what we need to do is start writing down.
Yeah.
So you know when to go back in and start listening and editing. But that's
Live and learn.
Live and learn.
We're learning.
We're working on it.
Okay, so we're only going to be able to,
hopefully we're going to get one a week out.
Right, but right now it's going to be one every other week because I do 7 on, 7 on. And I work 12-hour days for 7 days in a row. I don't have the energy
to do anything.
So hopefully I'll be able to start recording or editing the other podcasts, and I can drop those in. But anyway, now that I've talked more and more and more, we're going to sign off.
Yes, and this right now is on YouTube. Hopefully I'm going to be able to show you how to put it on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then as we progress and get better, we will also drop it on Insta, X,
Apple,
TikTok.
Yeah.
And any place else you can find podcasts.
So, right.
And you can also email us for any polite criticisms, or contact us to let us know you're going to any of the Q&As or any of the shows, or just,
or just interact with us.
Friends,
yeah, absolutely. We are bdbcellblockc@yahoo.com, and all of our handles on all of our platforms are bdbcellblockc. And I'm going to be better about the social media posting. But anyway, we're going to sign off for now. I'm Angie.
And Alesha.
And this was BDB Cell Block C. And we will be talking to you after series episode number 4.
4.
Yeah,
Next
4.
week is 3. Okay,
Next week is 3, and the week after that is 4.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get it together, I promise.
That's right. You took off last week. That's why we were 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.